Today, we will be going over Kentucky Standard RI.3.5, which states, identify and describe informational text structures including comparison, cause-effect, and problem-solution structures, and describe the logical connection between particular sentences and paragraphs in the text and how they contribute to the overall structure. Today, we will be covering Learning Objective A, and our I can statement is I can identify and describe informational text structures.
So we have text structures. Text structures refers to how the text is organized or structured. The very first one that we have is compare and contrast. What those are, they show how two things are alike and how they are different. Some of the key words are alike, both, like, unlike, but, and different. And over there under the graphic organizer is a Venn diagram. So one side is how they are different, and on the other side is how the other thing is different. And in the middle is how the two things are kind of alike and how they are both have like similar interests. The cause and effect. Cause is why something happens, and the effect is what happens with the results of the cause. So some of those keywords are why, cause, because, therefore, as a result, and effects. So what it is under the graphic organizer, what is the cause? And then what happens because of the cause is the effects. The very last one that we have is problem and solution. It presents a problem with the details and then a solution. So some of those keywords are concern, solve, challenge, help, prevent, so that, and the answer. Under the graphic organizer is the problem solution graphic organizer. So what we were talking about, this little Venn diagram right there. So they are comparing and contrasting apples and oranges. So on the blue circle is the apples. They come in red, yellow, green. The skin, you can eat them, and they are less acidic. On the orange side, orange in color, thick skin that you don't eat, and then they are more acidic. And in the middle, how they are alike is that they are both fruits and they both come from trees. So you have how one thing is different and another thing is different, and then in the middle is how they are similar. All right, the cause and the effects. So the very first thing happens first. Then the answer is why something happened. And the effect is happens after the cause. And then what happened because of that cause. So an example of that would be Jill fell off the monkey bars. That's a cause. The effect is because the bars were wet. That is what happened. Another example is Keaton studied all night for his test. That was the cause. And the effect was, as a result, he got a 100 on it. All right, the last one is the problem and the solution. So the problem describes a problem that arises and offers a solution. Jesse spilled his milk on his shirts. That was the problem. The solution was he decided to change his shirts. That was the solution.
Hello class, my name is Miss King, and we are going to be going over cause and effect today. I've got an activity, but I wanted to make sure you all understood cause and effect before we went into our activity. So our cause answers the question why something happened, and then our effect is what happened. So on our example, Jill fell off the monkey bars because the monkey bars were wet. Well, why did Jill fall off the monkey bars? She fell off the monkey bars because they were wet. So that is our cause that happened. And our effect is that because the bars were wet, Jill fell off the monkey bars. And our second one, Keaton studied all night for his test, and as a result, he got a 100 on it. So, why did something happen? Because Keaton studied all night, he got a 100 on the test. So 100 would be the effect of studying all night. So those are a little bit, those are some examples. And what we're going to be doing is a activity called I Have, Who Has. And these are some of the cards. I have some printed out, and I have them cut apart so that we can all have one. And we are going to we're going to start with the card that says start first. And let me read the first one, and then the second person would come up with the effect of what is going on. So I have Sarah. She forgot to do her homework last night. Who has the possible effect? So, Sarah forgot to do her homework. So what might be the effect that Sarah has if she forgot to do her homework? So the person that would raise their hand is I have. She had to lose recess time to finish up her homework. Who has the card about Tommy? So we have two cards that match, and then at the end of the effect of the card is going to say who has the card about Tommy, or whoever the next person is. So if you have the card about Tommy, then you're going to raise your hand, and now you are going to read yours, and then we're going to see if we can figure out who has the effect of your card. And then we'll keep going around the room until everyone has read, and we have to the one at the end. Here we go.
Okay, now that we have reviewed cause and effect, problem and solution, and compare and contrast, we will be doing a short formative assessment just to kind of measure what we know about text structure and connections. I will be reviewing each question, and then in a few minutes I will give you each a sheet of paper with the same questions on them so you can write down your answers. So the instructions say, read each short story carefully. Answer the questions below each story. Be ready to explain how different parts of the story connect to each other. Passage 1. Water is always moving around the earth. First, it goes up into the sky as tiny drops when the sun makes it hot. Then, the drops stick together and make clouds. When the clouds get heavy, they let the drops fall back to the ground as rain or snow. So, why does water go up into the sky? Passage 2. Sometimes, things we can do hurt the earth. Burning things like oil and coal makes the air dirty, and that's not good for us or the animals. Also, factories can put unclean waste into rivers and lakes, and that makes the water bad to drink. So, what happens when we burn things like oil and coal? Passage 3. A butterfly starts as a tiny egg on a leaf. After a while, a caterpillar hatches from the egg and eats a lot of leaves. Then it makes a cozy shell around itself called a chrysalis. Inside the chrysalis, it changes into a beautiful butterfly. So the question for this passage is, how does a caterpillar become a butterfly? So, we have reviewed each question on the assessment. Now, it's your turn to answer them.